Coming up on Top 5 Bars, Richard E. Grant and Paul McGann walk into a cafe whilst I'm enjoying a cup of tea. Enjoy the show. We're in Stony Stratford. Welcome to Stony Stratford. That's the sign for the B&B I'm staying in. Yeah, it's pouring it down. I've had a bad run of weather in some of these vids. Anyway, we're here for a drink. You know the rules. I Google the best places to have a drink somewhere, then go check out some of those places. So, Stony Stratford, near Milton Keynes. Load of high street, not a load of high streets, load of pubs on the high street, not a load of high streets on the pub. Yep, looking forward to it. Gig at the end of the night. I can see an array of pizza, kebab and Indians, so should be plenty of food as well. Anyway, catch you later. Proper row of takeaways behind me here. Got pizza, kebab, Chinese, Indian and more pizza all in a row. Over there there's a chippy and another Indian. Woo-hoo, bring it. Apologies to the locals. I'm about to refer to your beloved bar as the Tap Room. It's actually called Have I Got Brews For You? First stop, you sit behind me there, steamy windows like the car on the deck in Titanic. It's it's called the Tap Room. One of these shops turned into a craft beer establishment. So we'll see what it's like. And yeah, I most definitely concur with that sentiment. You can hear from the buzz of voices and the general atmosphere in the room. Certainly felt like a happy place. Popular. And on to the drink. This is a Brews Zot, a small yet tasty brew. Yum yum. So, walking down the picturesque high street in Stony Stratford. I passed another pizza shop, that's 3. 4, I think 4 I've seen. I don't know, how big is this place? They love the pizza. Anyway, I can see a pub ahead called the Old George. The bloke in the B&B said, you going out for a drink? I said, yeah, where's the best place? He said, it's friendly in the George. Let's put that to the test. But yeah, nice, quaint little street this, plenty of shops, pubs. Yeah, impressed so far. There you go, the Old George. I have actually stayed in this pub in the past. It's got some rooms out back. Seems to remember having a good breakfast. Let's have a look around. A few people in. And let's have a look what's on the hand pump. This is a Ringwood Razorback. It was okay. Didn't set the world on fire, but pretty nice.
You're too young to be a carry-on fan. Stop.
I remember in the early 80s they came out on VHS. I remember buying Carrying Up the Jungle. Sorry, it's not in. Sorry.
The Barbara Windsor.
Love Babs. Well, the dude from the B&B was right. The George was a friendly place. There was like a display in a corner of like carry-on memorabilia, posters, autographs, and I asked the table if they wouldn't mind me, taking a bit of footage. They were, really friendly, really lovely, had a bit of carry-on banter. Told me I was too young to be loving carry-on films. I'll take that as a compliment. Although obviously I was collecting the VHSs in the mid-80s. I remember we had a vote at school for what video to watch at Christmas. I put forward Carrying Up the Jungle and it won the vote. But the teachers fixed it, so we watched Watership Down instead. Guess the jokes were a little bit risque for some fourth year juniors. Next pub, the Bull, an old coaching inn. This used to be one of the main roads out of London, tracing the old Watling Street historic route. Here it is, the Bull. Narrow little vault bar, felt busy, but there's probably only about 30 people in, but say small, cosy, and yeah, pretty vibrant in there. Wasn't a great selection of real ales, so playing it safe with an old favourite, Red Stripe. Yum yum. Right, I've just been in the Bull for a pint. Got a Vaults bar and a hotel the other side of this, you know, an old coaching in arch. Had the cobbles down the archway, you can imagine the horses pulling in. Another route out of London, I'll say, a few hundred years ago, I'm sure. Yeah, it was all right in the Bull. Had a pint of Red Stripe. Yeah, okay. Now behind me, the next one is the Cock. Now this is where, you know, when people, you know, invent ideas for what started, sayings, etc. People are saying because of the proximity of the Bull to the Cock, this is where the whole notion of a cock and bull story started. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know, but I'm going to go in and have a beer and see what it's like. Definitely the most upmarket venue so far. Quite nice, the Cock. If I was coming back to Stony Stratford, I'd probably be getting a quote for a room in here. It's nice. Swipe, sup, glint in the eye. Pepperoni in the Cock Hotel. I would say it's the nicest room I've been in. Yeah, you'll get a panoramic. But it's a nice room. It's like Green King beers, so it's not a lot of great ale on, so I've got Peroni here. But yeah, you'll hear a bit of, you know, chilled music pumping. Kind of nice crowd in here. To be honest, it is like a hotel bar, but a nice hotel. Cheers. I talk nonsense. Hey. So, two pubs side by side on Stony Stratford High Street. The Bull and the Cock. Is that the source of the cock and bull story? I find it's highly unlikely, but that's what it says online. Anyway, yeah, it's the nicest room I've been in, definitely. Nice crowd in here, cute dog. Tried to get some footage, but I didn't want to, you know, didn't want to look like some weird dog stalker. But yeah, it's a nice place. If you've watched a few of these vids, you know that I love a shelving unit full of knickknacks. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Gig tonight, a band called Creeping Jean at the Craufurd Arms, which is in the Wolverton area, which is 3/4 of a mile down the road. It's an Uber ride when you've had a couple of beers. Yeah, looking forward to it. How cool is that? Always been a sucker for things like this. Love it. Anyway, back to the pubs. The White Horse. I think the signage on the actual pub might say the Old White Horse. But having a look around there, you can see pretty busy. Popular pub. from Craufurd Arms back in the 90s. All the fellas in there at the end of the night, when they'd had enough beer, they'd switch to a Bacardi and Coke, and it was my dad's drink for a while. These days he's more of a gin vodka character, and has been for many years, but yeah, back in the 90s, Bacardi and Coke, that was the drink. And it's yummy. Anyway, just been in the White Horse, a lovely locals pub, full of people in there after work, that kind of crossover, after work, people going out crowd. Yeah, popular place, vibrant. At this stage, I kind of, didn't fancy any of the bog standard drinks on, so got myself a Bacardi and Coke. Yeah, it was all right in there. Couple of St George's flags, so I wouldn't want to talk politics necessarily, but a good pub.
Now is our winter of discontent, made glorious summer by the son of York.
So a bit of bonus material here as we head to the gig venue, the Craufurd Arms here. Look at that, a fine old Victorian building, apparently saved from demolition or redevelopment by the current proprietors, who have turned it into a rock and roll music venue. You're seeing there the quintessential heavy metal bar, basically. Pool, beers, cool rock and roll stained glass windows, and tonight's band, Creeping Jean, wearing their influences on their sleeves there. Great band, great venue, enjoyed it. Bonus material. You may or may not have known this, even our WITHNAIL and I fans out there, but the famous cafe scene, while set in the Lake District of course, was actually filmed Stony Stratford. It's now actually a pharmacist, but this is the tea rooms from the movie.
All right, chef. What? Cake. All right, chef.
Yes. Oh, we're closing.
We're leaving them, man. I'm glad you're the proprietor. I was going to have a word with you anyway. We're working on a film here. Location, see.
I demand the finest wines known to humanity.
Great movie. Enjoyed that little detour. So, got some bonus material for you here. Stayed in a lovely B&B Telford House. Recommend it. Massive bed, comfortable, and really friendly guy owning it. Chap called Jim. And we're down at breakfast, and he pointed out this poster on the wall because we were chatting about music. Brackley Hall gig in 1959. The Electrons featuring Jim Pack. And there, sure enough, he showed me this photo, and there's Jim. And the classic thing is, I mean, he was getting on a bit, but he said he'd been running the B&B for 40 years after he retired from the building game. And yeah, figured out this dude must be about 90. Still going strong, still a Stony Stratford legend. Anyway, loved my little visit to Stony Stratford there. Got some more vids for you to catch up with. Holborn, Greenwich, Wendover was a goodie. And thanks for your support. Please do like and subscribe to this channel. And get in the comments. Tell me what you thought of this vid. Tell me where you want to go next. But please do subscribe. That's key. It helps the channel grow. Cheers.